Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. During his customary Christmas message and Urbi et Orbi blessing from the loggia of St. Peter's Basilica on December the 25th, the Holy Father decried what he called the famine of peace happening in several parts of the world. Pope Francis compared it to a third world war. The pontiff mentioned the suffering masses in Syria and the escalating insecurity in the Holy Land. He also prayed that there would be more dialogue and efforts to cement mutual ties between Israelis and Palestinians. He also remembered Ukrainians and crisis hit Myanmar and Iran. Earlier on Saturday evening, while presiding over Christmas Mass in St. Peter's Basilica, the pontiff spoke on the poverty of the manger during his homily. He said the manger shows believers where the true riches in life are to be sought. Pope Francis also reminded believers that the greatest gift one can receive is Jesus Christ, by learning how to love and serve Christ's poverty in the poor. In his Christmas message to his countrymen, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged them not to give up hope in spite of the fact that the Russian attacks have knocked out the power supply in the country. He added that in complete darkness they would find each other. He delivered this video message dressed in military fatigues outside near a Christmas tree. He told his nation, "We will find each other to hug each other tightly, and if there is no heat, we will hug for a long time to warm each other. We will celebrate our holidays as always. We will smile and rejoice as always." The president also said, "Christ is born, glorify him." On December the 24th, thousands of believers and visitors descended on the town of Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus. After a 2-year hiatus, tourism is back in full swing in the town, which largely depends on visitors. Bands march through the town, playing traditional Christmas tunes, bringing back the spirit of the festive season that was lost to the pandemic. Palestinian Tourism Minister Rula Maya said that they are celebrating Christmas with pilgrims coming from all over the world. His Beatitude, Pier Battista Pizzaballa, the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, greeted believers at Manger Square before going to the Church of the Nativity to celebrate Holy Mass. The top prelate said they are living with very difficult challenges, hinting at the surge in Israeli-Palestinian violence. He said it was possible to change things, adding that the message of Christmas is a message of peace. The Sant'Egidio community, which is based in Rome, prepared Christmas lunch for hundreds of poor people, the homeless, refugees and the elderly, against the backdrop of the Church of Santa Maria in Trastevere. This year marks the 40th anniversary of the launch of this Christmas Luncheon for the poor by the community. The Christmas Luncheon started with a modest 47 guests in 1982, but since then it has fed 80,000. Present on this occasion were Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican Secretary of State, and Mayor Roberto Gualtieri. The community also hosted other events for prison inmates, and similar lunches were organised in other cities in Italy and around the world. The World Youth Day Lisbon 2023 Foundation, which is tasked with organising the mega youth event in the Portuguese capital next year, has joined hands with the Diocesan Organising Committee to donate €30,000 to support Ukrainian victims of war. This is in response to Pope Francis's appeals for help to alleviate the suffering of people in the Eastern European nation. Auxiliary Bishop of Lisbon, Americo Aguiar, said, "We cannot make ourselves as present in such an immediate and effective way as with the sharing of this little bit that we managed to coordinate between the local organising committee and the diocesan committees to make ourselves present to have Christmas with the brothers of Ukraine." The mortal remains of 96 unborn babies were given a Christian burial in the Ecuadorian diocese of Daule last week. The private ceremony comprised a requiem mass offered by Bishop Krzysztof Kudlawiec of Daule at the La Aurora Camposantos and Services Peace Park, and the interring of the remains of the babies in the mausoleum of the Faceless Virgin. The Movimiento Mariano Fundación Armada Blanca took the initiative to organise the event. The transferring of the remains of the babies to the cemetery was carried out with the participation of the National Police, the State Attorney General's Office, the Archdiocese of Quito, Daule Diocese and the Voice of the Unborn campaign. Church leaders in the Holy Land have decried the increasing attacks against freedom of religion and the mass exodus of young Christians to other countries. They made their concerns clear in their annual joint Christmas message. In the letter signed by the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, the leaders said in recent years Christians have faced increased persecution, which includes physical assault, desecration, unwarranted curbs on worship and legal threats. They also expressed concern over the plight faced by young believers who are feeling increasingly unwelcome in their own land. The leaders said that this has caused the Christian population to plummet to below 2% of the population. Now there are just over 180,000 Christians in both Israel and Palestinian territory. Christian leaders urged believers to pray and work for lasting peace in the Holy Land and in other war-torn countries. Pontifical Charity Aid to the Church in Need has distributed Christmas gifts and warm clothes to 44,000 children in Syria and Lebanon. Various parishes and monasteries in both countries are being roped in to distribute the gifts. As many as 14,000 children in Lebanon will get a Christmas gift, and in Syria 30,000 children will benefit. The Pontifical Charity also provided 1,500 children in Syria's Aleppo with music, a theatre performance and a meal together. ACN said that this project was initiated as for a long time, children in both countries have not celebrated a peaceful and carefree Christmas. According to Regina Lynch, ACN's project director, this Christmas should be a time of solidarity with believers in the Middle East. In what is seen as a victory for religious freedom, American actor Kirk Cameron has been given the opportunity to host a story hour for his faith-based book for children in libraries across New York and in Indiana. Speaking to Fox and Friends last week, he said this permission is a testament to what a little persistence can do. The libraries had earlier refused permission to have a story hour for the book As You Grow. He told Fox News that the Indianapolis Public Library and the Scarsdale Public Library in New York have both agreed to work with him to hold the story hour for his book, which is based on biblical principles and morality. He added that public libraries are greenlighting gender and name change clinics while refusing to allow a story time for a book that teaches biblical wisdom. In Ukraine, disputes over the use of the Julian calendar for church affairs and the ramifications of the war with Russia have led a section of Orthodox believers to celebrate Christmas on December the 25th, the same day when Catholics celebrate the birth of our Lord around the world. The decision was taken by Orthodox leaders who renounced their allegiance to the Moscow Patriarchate. As part of the transition to the Gregorian calendar, Orthodox believers were given dispensation from one of the 40 days of fasting before celebrating the birth of Jesus. Yevstrati Zoria, press secretary of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church Kiev Patriarchate, said, "We are giving people the option to also celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December. He said that all those parishes making the transition to the new feast day will now have an extra day of worship. In the United States of America, a survey conducted by Ipsos has found that a majority of people have forgotten the true meaning of Christmas. 84% of respondents overall said they agree that most people are oblivious to the true significance of Christmas. 42% strongly agree with that, and 33% made it clear that they somewhat agree with that observation. In the survey, only 6% disagreed with the statement, and 10% somewhat voicing dissent. Among the respondents, Christians belonged to the category that most vociferously claimed that the real purpose of Christmas has been forgotten. 84% of Christians overall said that they agree with that opinion. 60% of non-religious Americans also said that they believe that the true meaning of Christmas has gone. The survey was conducted across the whole country and it comprised 1,023 adults. While interacting with a group of 200 Bangladeshi Christians, the Prime Minister of the Muslim-majority nation, Sheikh Hasina, acknowledged the contributions made by believers in nation building. The delegation met the Prime Minister to exchange Christmas greetings at the Bangladesh Agricultural Research Council auditorium in the capital Dhaka. It had the support of the Bangladesh United Christian Community and the Christian Religious Welfare Trust. Because she was affected by COVID-19, the Premier addressed them virtually. She said Jesus came to earth to establish justice and peace. She also wished all believers a Merry Christmas. Archbishop Bijoy Cruz of Dhaka, who is president of the Bishops' Conference and the president of the Bangladesh Christian Association, Nimal Rosario, joined the celebration. And those are your latest headlines. You can, as always, visit swnews.org for more updates. In the meantime, do join us again tomorrow for more updates. But for now, Shalom.